Today we're going to do a short course on how to prune a rose. Right here next to my shoulder we have a rose bush. This is December in Fremont. Pretty well done with the bloom. Whatever is left down there is starting to mold at this point. And so we're going to go in, we're going to give this the winter prune back. We need 3 different tools for doing this job. This one right here is the hand pruning shear. That's a main tool for pruning roses. Over here, a pair of gloves, not a bad idea on a plant full of thorns. And then right here we have the lopper. This would be one of the main tools that I actually use when I'm working with roses. I got my gloves on and we're going to take on this rose. The first thing I'm going to do is grab hold of my lopper. This is a handy tool for roses because it's got long handles on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw an arbitrary line across the top of the rose over here. And I'm going to cut pretty much straight across, dropping all the wood out of my way. So that I can actually get inside this rose without getting wounded. There we go. Now we have a line cut across the top of the rose. Pull off the debris here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach down inside the rose with the loppers, and I'm going to cut out everything that's pointing through to the middle of the plant. So everything that's going inward and to the center I'm going to remove, so we leave the rose looking like a bowl. So here we go, heading in. I'm doing this the first time around with these loppers because it allows me to reach inside here without encountering the spines of the roses. That way I get myself a door cut. Okay, so taking the lopper, cut across the top of the rose to shorten it up. I've opened up the hole in the center of the rose over here. Now I'm going to go inside with a hand pruning shear. I'm going to begin removing some of these extra shoots, especially the stubs of the ones that went through the center of the rose. Things that are heading at odd angles over here. I really want almost all of my rose heading from the center outward, is what I'm looking for here. Now, here we have a piece. This is old wood here. It's become unproductive. You see how there's so many small shoots on the top of it. I'm going to remove that shoot. Right here ought to be a good place to do that. I'm going to try to cut it so it's on an angle so the water drains off. There we go. I'm going to take that old piece of wood out of there. When you're pruning roses, you want to be looking for new vigorous wood that's coming out of the plant, favoring that as opposed to the old heavily barked wood that's inside the rose, so that you're always renewing your rose growth. Cut this closer to the graft near the trunk. I'm going to take that out completely. You see here that we have lots and lots and lots and lots of shoots coming off the end, mini buds. And instead, and it's got a lot of bark on there, instead what we're going to do is we're going to simplify that, and I'm going to save one of these canes over here that's coming off to become the new growth for next year. This is growing backwards across the bottom of the rose and up the lady's sleeve over here. Let me pull that one out. Here we got another one kind of doing the same thing, growing backwards underneath the rose there. That's coming off. Now the tip of this has all kinds of different shoots coming off of it, and I think we're going to go ahead and just simplify this. Cut it back a bit, and I'm going to take the cane off right here. There. Now we just have one straight shoot coming off over there. Right, this one's coming out right there. Too much in the center. This one over here is weak and really needs something heading this direction. We don't have it, and so there's nothing we can do about that. We're going to leave what we do have. Pretty close to this being finished here. I'm going to take this shoot out as it's going underneath. I'm going to leave that one growing right there. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to look on the bud scars that are along the cane. See these lines with a little point on them? And I'm going to try to find one that's pointing outward. Like there's one there. Here you still see the leaf hooked to this one. That's pointing outward from the center. I'll take that one and cut it right there. Here we definitely need to find one pointing outward because this cane's in, so I'm going to take that and cut it to there. Over here. Looks like my best option on this one is going to be right here, so I'm taking that off. I'm making my cuts on the tops of these canes on a bit of an angle so that water runs off. This massive area right here in the middle is where the graft was made on the top of the rose tree trunk. There are multiple grafts on this rose. I think it looks like there were probably 3 or 4 grafts made. That creates this section, that section, and so on. We don't ever want to cut more than within 4 inches of these grafts whenever you're pruning a tree rose in the wintertime. If you get any closer to it than that, you could damage the rose variety, because this tree trunk is not the rose variety. That's a climbing rose that's been used there, a wild, hardy type of a rose. So, it was that simple. There we are, Pruning Roses 101.